Welcome to
the Plant-Based Podcast.
In case you didn't know already, plants are amazing. You can
Eat them,
wear them,
drink them,
nourish your skin with them,
grow them,
love them,
and be inspired by them. So why not join us on the Plant-Based Podcast as we speak to the movers, shakers, and growers in this amazing plant world.
We're recording!
I'm pressing record now.
Now we're recording. Now we are live on the podcast. Yay!
Morning. Yay!
Morning, everybody. On the podcast today, we have got Kirsty Ward from My Little Allotment. I'm sure most of our listeners will already know Kirsty and her beautiful plot in Lincoln, and also your story because you got into gardening for your well-being, didn't you, Kirsty?
Yes, I did.
And welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
And Kirsty
She's
also
got all shy.
She has.
She ever shy?
She's gone all giggly. And also I can see little doggy with you up there on your shoulder as well. Hello.
She's about to pee on your shoulder. Oh, kisses. Thank you.
Yeah, Whiskey's giving Kirsty some kisses. How very cute.
Is it cockapoo? Yes, he is, yeah. He stinks, though, if I'm honest.
That kind of dog smell after you've been out for a dog walk and the fur has got a bit wet. It's always a bit stinky.
Yeah. Yeah, the fields are so muddy at the moment, so he's covered in mud and he just stinks. It's lovely, though. He loves me. And
I'm sure.
It's very nice.
Cute.
A nice smell.
We've done a lot on the allotment today.
Yeah, I've been busy down on the allotment. I've been mulching in all my dahlias, getting them ready, because I think we're going to have quite a turn in the weather now. It's going to get quite cold, even some talks of snow. So I thought I'd best get those sorted.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gone really cold. So I've been mulching them in and doing a bit of tidying. I've hurt my shoulder and my neck, so at the moment I'm staying away from all the big jobs, and I'm hoping to get my dad to come and help me do some digging.
Good old dad. Michael would like your dad to come and help him in his garden.
Yeah, I bet.
But shall we just rewind back to the dahlias? I think that's a really good tip, Kirsty, because dahlias have gone mad, haven't they? You know, everyone loves the dahlias. They're all over Instagram. There's no wonder why. They're just fabulous. But you said you were mulching them. So traditionally, most people lift them, and I've frequently not lifted them and left them in the ground, and they've always grown back fine. So I think maybe people are looking at mulching them more than lifting them now. What do you think?
Yeah, well, my collection of dahlias, I'm probably at like 30 different types of dahlias, and they're really big tubers now, so I just don't have the space to lift them and dry them out and store them over winter. And I've already ordered a box more ready for next year, so my idea is to sort of mulch them in, and I tried it last year and it worked really well. So this year what I've done is cut them all back. It's great because then I've got lots of stuff for my compost, but this year I've decided to save all of the compost from my tomato pots, and I've broken it all up, got all the roots out of it. So I've put a thin layer of good compost on top of the dahlias, and then to mulch them in with another sort of 1 or 2 inches of spent compost.
That's a really good idea, because you know sometimes when you've grown plants in pots and then you remove them and you've got all of that used compost, what do you do with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it'd be a really good way of reusing it. Obviously, I checked to make sure there wasn't any signs of disease or vine weevil or anything like that, because obviously then that compost you need to dispose of. But all of them it was all in really good, like, it looked great, to be honest. So I just sort of crumbled it all up, and I got 2 wheelbarrows full. So now all my dahlias are nicely mulched in. So I'm very happy with that, because then I've saved myself some money having to buy more compost to do that.
Yeah.
Do you mulch them every year, or what's the success rate? 100% or close?
I mulched them last year properly for the first time. I used fresh compost last year, and I used a good 2 inches of it, and all of them came back perfectly.
I think we've been having much milder winters, so I think if the temperature is really, really low, then there is a chance the dahlias won't survive. But the year we had the beast from the east, I'd left my dahlias in on my old allotment. Time had just gone by, I'd forgotten, and then I was like, I haven't got time, I'm just going to chuck a load of mulch on them and hope for the best. The beast from the east came, so temperatures were really bad. Where we were, the snow was so heavy, we got snowed in our cottage. It was that bad. Those dahlias, they still grew the next year, and they were absolutely fine. So I think unless you're lifting them to split them to create more dahlias and all of that kind of thing, then give them a mulch. But I love the using the old compost tip. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to lift them next year, about when you said about splitting them, because they are getting quite big. So they will have been in for 2 seasons, as of next year. So I think I'm going to lift them, split them, and I'll have so many more plants then. And obviously, who doesn't want more dahlias?
Everyone wants more dahlias.
That's cool. You're such a pro, darling. You're doing really well. But I have an important question. Do you have any Christmassy house plants? That's all that I'm about at the moment in December.
No, but I have been watching your stories, and I've seen... I've been watching all your stories, and I've seen all the really pretty poinsettias, and I'm thinking I'm going to go and try and find some of the pink and white ones this year, because I've never seen them before, and I think they're really, really nice. And in my living room, I've got lots of pink cushions and stuff, so I think they'll look really nice, and I've got pink decorations on my tree.
I love that. Matching plants for Christmas. It's interior designing with colourful plants. Do you have your Christmas trees up, you two?
Yeah, mine's been up since the beginning of November, I'm not going to lie, but I just felt like this year's thing. It's not, but I didn't have a Christmas tree, and I didn't know what to do, and then I spotted a Christmas tree in a charity shop, and I thought this might be a great way to sort of reduce and reuse and recycle, and I got a 7-foot artificial Christmas tree for £3.50 and it saved it going in the bin, so I'm really proud of myself. But I would like a real Christmas tree. I was actually talking to Ellen about this the other week. I wasn't too sure how sustainable that would be, but it seems to be pretty good, and you can, around Lincolnshire, you can get some places where you can actually buy them in pots, and then you can send them back and they can be replanted. So I was thinking about looking at that for next year, but I'm definitely going to keep this tree, and I think I'll have 2.
Well, I do love a bargain, so that's amazing, but we can no longer be friends now you've told me you've had it up since the beginning of November, so I'm done here.
Ellen, it's been a rubbish year.
You're right. I to be honest, any other year that is what I would be thinking, but this year, if you want to put your Christmas tree up in July, put your blooming Christmas tree up, because it's 2020. You can do whatever you want that makes you happy. Michael, have you got your Christmas tree up yet?
Well, I did this piece on Steph's packed lunch yesterday, and I've got, as usual, lots of leftovers and stuff. So I've got poinsettias on every surface. I've got Christmas cactus, and I've actually got a Christmas tree, but I've left it out the front of the house. I don't know. I haven't got any decorations, because I'm not usually into Christmas or Christmas trees, and so I don't know what to do. Maybe just have it plain, but is that a bit boring.
Make your own Christmas decorations.
Oh,
Make
yeah,
your
that's a
own.
good idea, making your own.
You can get
I've got
really
lots of
creative.
Christmas-themed baubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can,
I've got one bauble.
have you? Oh, I dread to think what bauble he's going to show us. Yeah, see, that's super cute. So this is basically
Pretty
like
cactus. It's got a plant inside.
it's a bauble with an air plant inside. It's
Yeah.
really, really
That's
cool.
cool.
So you could
yeah.
decorate your tree,
And I
Mr.
do
Plant
have-
Geek style.
Can I show you? You know Norfolk Island pines?
Yes.
They make a nice Christmas tree, and I have got one there with lights on it.
Yeah, that's cute. Oh,
So, yeah.
So you have
Cute.
basically got a Christmas tree up.
Yeah, maybe I have actually.
You do.
Oh, well, I've picked that one.
Gosh, I feel really behind. So we're going to my sister's for Christmas. So I kept saying, well, what's the point in putting a Christmas tree up? But I feel like I'm not going to get away with it now. I think I'm going to have to do it.
Ellen, you're to Texas at Christmas.
Yes,
Oh my God, it's going to be a hot Christmas.
I know. How weird is
Won't that be weird?
So weird. I can't even imagine it. But yeah, we'll be in a hot state for Christmas. Very random. But there you go. I'll be drinking mimosas and margaritas.
That sounds amazing.
But in England, people be just having like Baileys and snowballs.
Yeah.
Snowballs, yeah.
I've just got,
Pretty Christmassy.
I've just got all my alcohol ready so I can make porn star martinis at my mum and dad's this year.
Oh, nice.
What's a martini? I don't really know many cocktails. What is that?
Like vanilla vodka, Passoa, passion fruit puree, and it's really, really nice.
Oh wow!
Tastes like fruit juice, so really easy to drink.
And you're meant to
Sorry,
have it
go
with
on.
you're meant to have it with a shot of prosecco as well.
Yes, you are.
Don't miss that bit.
I tell you what else goes well with prosecco, and oh my God, I'm obsessed with rose hip syrup. Have you ever tried it?
No. Oh my
I
gosh,
make my own. It's delicious.
I saw
It's
that.
like rose. Oh my gosh, it is gorgeous.
Tell me how you made it.
Well, you just pick the rose hips now after a frost, so they're soft. And what you do, you mash them up a bit, and then you boil them just for 20 minutes with water, and then you put sugar in, and then put it all in a jar. Strain it into a jar. And it tastes like hedgerow. It is really incredible. And I've just been having it with like sparkling water and ice, and that's as good as an alcoholic cocktail. It is just so complex flavors. It's gorgeous.
That's amazing. It sounds like you could actually put a little bit of that into some prosecco. So you're kind of making the prosecco sweet if you want to make like a little cocktail.
Well, I remember I went to some champagne event, I think last summer, and I had a rose hip cocktail there that was with prosecco, and they also did like blackberry stuff and all stuff from the hedgerow, and such cool flavors. It's just it's amazing. So I've been making rose hip syrup and slow gin as well.
Lovely.
And I'm going to make fire cider today.
Oh,
You know that one? Cider vinegar with horseradish and chili and garlic. Really good for cold.
Okay.
that sounds like it would blow my mind.
I was going to say, it sounds dangerous.
You're dangerous.
You're dangerous. Kirsty, tell us about your plans for your allotment next year. What have you got planned apart from more dahlias?
Oh, okay. That's about it, really. No, not really. I am doing quite a lot of prep this winter because with what went on with the coronavirus and stuff, I didn't actually get to the allotment as much as I wanted because I took a job in a supermarket, so I was busy working there a lot that I actually didn't really go to my allotment as much as I wanted to this year, so I got a bit behind. So my aim is to get all of my allotment beds turned over and then mulched really well. I've got loads of plant grow to go on top and compost to go on, so I'm hoping to sort of really get the soil nice. There's just a few patches that are a little bit still like heavy clay, so my aim is to get those done. I've made a new raised bed area that I've sort of fenced off, and I'm building a nice bug house, wildlife corner next to my greenhouse. There's like some space that's unused, so I've got this really cool like bug house idea, and I've saved lots of dried stuff off my allotment, like artichoke heads. I've even cut like the dahlias stems up into like smaller tubes, and then I'm drying them out so then I can put them in the bug house and things like that. And I've got lots of wildflower seeds to go down, and I've kind of been looking in lots of skips recently, and I've found loads of cool things that I'm trying to use to sort of reuse and like recycle. And I found loads of like roof tiles from a friend that's having some work done, and I'm going to make some hedgehog houses down the allotment with those. So I'm trying to focus on bringing more and more like wildlife and insects and stuff into the allotment, but reusing as much as possible, and like putting all the ideas I've got in my head like actually into my allotment this year. So I've started my my bike wheel frames so I can climb beams up them for on the allotment and things like that. So I'm just putting a lot of work into the soil and a lot of work into all the little things that I've thought about that I've just not really had time to do. So I want to get all of that done this winter, and then next year I'm hoping for probably my most productive season, because I have 100% of the space now on my allotment usable, whereas for the past few years while I've had it and been working on it, I've probably only had 60 to 70% of it. So now I'm fully raring to go, and I'm really excited about it.
Amazing.
So really cool.
We'll see loads of photographs then on Instagram, won't we, for sure?
Can I ask you, when your plant grow arrived, because I had some arrive here, was it on fire? It steams.
It does steam.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I put it on the borders, and it was still on fire.
I've got like a massive pile of it now out of 2 big bags of it on the allotment, and you just have to put the spade in it and just turn it, and then it just steams. It's incredible.
It is absolutely, it is such good stuff, and like it doesn't smell really bad. You can smell it, but it doesn't smell bad. But when you stick your spade in it, it's just like putting your spade in the middle of a pile of manure, isn't it? You know, where all that heat and steam comes out. It's incredible.
So good.
Oh, soil is sexy.
Soil is sexy. It really is. It's funny, isn't it? Because I think when I first started my allotment, which was by the coast in Norfolk, and it was actually quite heavy soil, so it wasn't sandy at all. But we were up much higher than the like beach. But it was really, really heavy soil. And I don't think in the very beginning I paid enough attention to the soil. And some things really struggled, but then some things grew really well. Like I grew really good root veg in heavy soil. Really good. Yes. And so anyway, but lots of other stuff didn't go so well. And so it took a few years to kind of really get the soil, you know, in a much better place. Yeah. And now I think I've seen probably over the past 10 years, if not much more the last couple of years, how much more there is about soil and soil regeneration and how important soil is, you know, and with like those new movies that are out, like Kiss the Ground and what's the one about, there's another one called Soil something or another, and it's making people really realise the importance of soil, because, you know, when we garden we want to see the pretty flowers, we want to see the plants, but we forget that we won't actually have any of those without like the soil. You know, you need to know and love your soil, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. It's about getting back to like the basics. And I think there was a couple of beds, like smaller beds, that were already on the allotment when I took it on, and the soil was amazing on them. So I sort of just thought, oh, you know, with being a newbie, like the other beds are going to be exactly the same. And then after the first year of growing, it was like, okay, things were successful, but actually some of this soil is awful. And, you know, you put your fork in it, and it just clumps and sticks to the fork because it's just like solid clay. But it's only taken a couple of seasons of putting in like digging in a bit of like organic matter, and then mulching like really thick compost and plant grow and things like that on top, and it's amazing now. Like, all the soil is so soft and it's easy to grow everything.
Yeah.
That's cool. Have you planted any bulbs though? Spring bulbs?
Oh yeah, actually, I've planted loads of alliums this year on my allotment. I usually grow lots of alliums at home, and I fell in love with them a couple of years ago. The bees absolutely love them. I think that was the first thing that interested me, because like trying to find early flowering bulbs that are good for the bees. So I've probably planted around like 200 allium bulbs in my allotment. I've still got a few more to put in.
Wow.
So hopefully it's going to be really nice to have like some colour earlier on. And I've also got my bathtub, my roll top bath on the allotment, that is full to the brim of tulips. So I think that should really pretty this year.
Going
really
to be
excited
like
for that.
bulb-tastic.
Did you plant
isn't
them
it?
nice and close?
Yes.
Pack them in.
Because they support each other, and sometimes I put way more than you should, but it looks much better that way.
Yeah.
I like impact.
It's like, it does. It just gives such a beautiful impact, because you just have masses of them all close together. That's lush. I got sent some bulbs. I got sent this massive big box of tulips and daffodils. And of course, where I am here, I only have the balcony. So out of each kind of variety, I took like 5 or so bulbs. I potted them on the balcony, and then I have a friend close by who has a garden. So I said, I'm going to give you all of these bulbs as long as I can have some photographs of them next year. And she was really excited. She took the bulbs. She said, right, we're going to plant them out this weekend. That was like last weekend, whenever. Anyway, this morning, she posted a photograph of how impressed she was at how she'd found some deer in her garden. And all I'm thinking is, oh my God, I'm never going to get any photographs of those bulbs, am I? Because the deers are going to literally just munch all of them.
It's like free food.
I was like, I should have kept some of those tulips.
But I really can't wait for spring. I planted so many bulbs, and some really nice big ones as well, so you will get a lot of blooms first year. But it was just, I've never been so, like, I'm so impatient. Do you know what I mean? It's like, usually you plant something and it looks good pretty much straight away. Well, the things that I plant, but like waiting for bulbs is like, what?
I want them now. I want it to be spring now.
Yeah, I know.
It's Michael, it will be so worth it, you know, because you've planted loads in your new garden, haven't you? Imagine the anticipation as they shoot up through the soil. You're going to be like
and when all the
bubbling
stuff
child.
Yeah, be cool.
So how is your new garden coming along? Because it's now all planted up, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of everything's done now, really. So I'm just sitting and staring at it, hoping it will grow quicker. Yeah. But yeah, it's all sorted. Everything's planted. I need to stop planting now, because the danger is I'll be planting stuff on top of other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I need to stop, wait for spring, and if there's any other gaps, then I'll do it then. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, really happy with it. And yeah, it's cool. I need to wait for the screening plants to grow a bit, though. And then I can go and make coffee nude in the mornings again.
I was then going to say, what do your neighbours think about you and your garden? Like, Mr. Plant Geek rocked on up into the neighbourhood, completely demolished the garden that was there, like completely changed it. It's different to any other garden around. What do you think they think about it all?
Do you know, I hadn't even thought about it on that level, because I just do what I do, and I don't like my neighbour's really strange, because she's like feeling all competitive now that I'm here. She's like, oh, well, my garden won't look as good as yours. It's like, well, I don't mind. I'm probably not going to look at your garden. Don't worry. It's like, I don't know. I'm just involved in my own garden. I'm not really judging anyone else. They can partake in gardening as much as they want to. Obviously, I would love to inspire them, but I'm never going to ram it down someone's throat. So,
well, just know that most of them are probably going to be looking out of their bathroom windows at your garden, waiting just to see if the screening trees are working when you walk out there in spring, naked with your cup of tea in the morning. They'll all be like, oh, there's that Mr. Plant Geek naked in the garden again.
I'll have a paparazzi shot. But I have to say, Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, it was really important as well. What was it? I can't remember now. Damn it.
That's 2020 for you.
Kirsty, do you realise I don't have a lawn? Bite me.
Yeah.
Or at least make a comment.
I'm just too busy laughing about your poor neighbours having to watch you doing naked coffee in your garden. They must wonder what's moved in next door.
It's only espresso, so it's not for long.
It's only a little espresso.
But yeah, Kirsty, what do you think? I've got no lawn. Discuss.
No, I think that's good.
I don't.
She doesn't like it. She doesn't like
No,
it.
I do.
Ellen, are you upside down?
You should pull up a chair.
Yeah.
I do love your garden, though. I think it's really nice, and I think it's going to be lovely to watch it develop. I suppose I've never had a garden that hasn't got a lawn, so it seems odd. But I don't mean that in a horrible way, because I love what you've done.
I always like to be, unconventional, and I just looked at it and thought, I really want plants to be the masters of this garden, So at the moment it looks like a lot of concrete is there, but the plants will billow onto that and kind of soften those edges. And like grass is not necessarily good for wildlife, right? Because you're cutting their heads off all the time, right?
What? What do you mean grass is not good for wildlife? What?
Manicured grass.
Well, you have all the insects that live underneath the grass in the soil, and you have the birds that come down and patter their little feet to get the worms up to eat them. How could you possibly say that?
But I'm saying if I had grass, my preference would be to have long grass and wild flowers rather than this real manicured lawn, which is probably got loads of chemicals to make it really green and kind of not really that environmentally friendly. So, I would rather have wildflower grass.
Yeah, my lawn's really animal friendly. I mean, the dog loves to wee poo out there.
A lawn isn't for everybody, that's for sure. But I have an idea. I have an idea for you, Michael, because I so desperately want you to have a little bit of grass in your garden. How about you have like a rectangular container that is just grass? As in lawn grass, so you're making like a spongy grass but in the container. But if it's like rectangular, a really modern funky looking one, and you just have a lawn in the container, that would please me.
And I could sit on it.
And you could sit on it, yeah. What do you think?
Well, I like that idea, young Ellen.
Why, thank you.
Little squares. Yeah, that's cool. These self-watering pots I've got?
Yeah.
They'd work really well. They're tall and cubed.
Yeah. And then you just have like a little lawn in a pot. I think that would be really cute. And actually, it would match the style of your garden. And I know I'm joking about the whole lawn thing. I can't imagine a garden without a lawn. But I think your garden looks spectacular, and I love the planting, and I genuinely, I completely and utterly trust your planting and your opinion 100%. Do you know what I mean? And I know that next year that garden is going to look absolutely spot on.
But it's also the maintenance of a lawn. That's why I favour a wild lawn, because the maintenance of a manicured lawn is just so much. And, my intention at some point is to rent this house out, and if you're renting out a house with a lawn that needs cutting every week, I feel like that could be a turn-off to potential renters. I know you think a bit differently on that, Ellen, but I do think, that maintenance side of it. And I think the garden looks sparkly enough that you probably forget there's no lawn.
Yeah.
Apart from the cubes that I'm going to get.
I mean, apart from the cubes. It's like plant heavy, and so that gives it this beautiful garden. It's like a whimsical feel, I think, when you look at it, which is superb. Yeah, I guess I did think of it differently, because I thought that if you don't have a lawn, then people who've got dogs might not want it, or kids because they want to kick around the ball. I don't know, but it depends on who you're renting to. Like if you're renting to a professional couple, they might not have time or might not have any desire to mow a lawn, So each to their own, But I do think your garden's looking absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Especially with the addition of some lawn cubes.
That's a brilliant idea, Ellen. It really is.
I take a bow.
It's not just lip service.
Anyway, I think it's been so lovely chatting with you, Kirsty. It's so nice to see your beautiful face, and I love all of the stuff that you have online. I love following your Instagram, and also Whiskey the dog has made another appearance to say goodbye. Hi, Whiskey. Why do we have to talk? Why do we have to talk in baby voices when there's dogs around?
No, it's terrible. I just have to say, see you later.
Michael, we want to hear you do a baby voice to Whiskey.
Oh, I don't know what to say. What shall I say?
Say Happy Christmas. Say Happy Christmas, Whiskey.
Oh, Happy Christmas! I don't know how to do it. I didn't grow up with babies around me.
You cutie pies. Okay, well, it's been really nice chatting with you, Kirsty. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Hope you have.
Thank you.
Hope you have a lovely, lovely Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ah.
Thanks for listening. You should now be at least 25% more obsessed by plants.
Please follow us on social media. You'll find us by typing in the Plant-Based Podcast.
We also have a fabulous website. Go to theplantbasedpodcast.net.
So tell your friends, leave a review. Why not write a letter to your local MP? Please spread the word about the Plant-Based Podcast.
Oh yes, see you next time, plant friends. The theme music for the Plant-Based Podcast is an excerpt from the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editing is done by Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.